Well, hello. Summer is in the air. And I thought what would be a great time to take a pause from our usual book talk Wednesdays and instead talk about some great summer reads. Now, these are reads that I would imagine you sitting on a beautiful beach somewhere, overlooking some tranquil sea, enjoying the sunshine and the peace and quiet with a great book. Maybe not one that's too stimulating, too intellectually challenging. Maybe just a fun read, something that brings some joy to your life, some light into the air. So this time I thought I would talk about two books that are great for the beach. The first is actually a series of books you're probably familiar with, but I'm guessing haven't read, and that is Ian Fleming's James Bond books. The first of which is called Casino Royale. This one is the one right here, and these are fantastic. If you like the Bond movies, you will like these. Sadly, we were supposed to get the most recent Bond movie the last month or so, but because of the pandemic, they have postponed it. That's okay. There's still a lot of them to watch. If you have Hulu, Amazon Prime, and Netflix, you have access to almost every Bond movie ever made, and there are 30 or so plus movies. So go back and enjoy them. The interesting part is that Ian Fleming's very first Bond story, Casino Royale, doesn't get a movie until much later in the career, and that is the first Daniel Craig Bond movie way back in the early thousands, and it is a great one. I think it's one of my favorite Bond films. I've seen them all, and the book is just as good. The funny part is that the movie, it takes this small story, as you can tell, it's very slight, it's a slim book, and expands it, makes it a little more robust and full. This is a great book. The fun thing about these is it's for everybody. Raymond Chandler here on the back, somebody who also made appearance on this list, wrote that Bond is what every man would like to be and what every woman would like to have between her sheets. Huh? How can you not want to read that? There's action, there's adventure, there's intrigue and mystique and mystery, and it's great. And the best thing about this is once you read that one, you can grab all the rest. This isn't all of them. These are all I can just hold in one hand. I have them all, and they're all good, all interesting. And you can tell just from the titles, from Moonraker to Dr. No to Goldfinger to Quantum of Solace, that the movies try to follow the books as best they can. I highly recommend Ian Fleming's Casino Royale and all the James Bond books. So check those out. The other book for this week is a nonfiction book. And in the spirit of Memorial Day, which happened earlier this week, in the spirit of wanting to be positive and find a beach book that can both is also an adventure as well as it is entertaining and enlightening, I'm going to choose a book my brother and I just read, actually, together. We're kind of having a little mini book club, just the two of them, us. And that is Douglas Brinkley's American Moonshot. And this book is about the most extraordinary achievement of mankind, landing on the moon. But the interesting part is this book isn't about landing on the moon at all. It's about getting ready to land on the moon. How did we as a society and as a country who had this overwhelming challenge that President Kennedy gave us to land on the moon before the end of the decade, how did we go about doing this? How did we justify its expense? How did we find the science? How did we get American morale behind this incredible endeavor? And and the story is just as exciting as you might imagine. It's full of characters that you know from history. It's full of characters that you may not have known. It is about our veterans during this Memorial Day, from Kennedy, who was an award-winning veteran, and an amazing story about his rescue of fellow sailors when he was a captain of a patrol boat, all the way to the men who landed on the moon. All of them military veterans, all of them experienced military men who took their devotion to their country as soldiers and translated it to the greatest scientific exploratory adventure of all time, the Moonshot. This is one of those books that gets you right here and makes you proud to be an American, proud to be a human. What better time to learn about America overcoming something we thought was insurmountable, to find something full of peace and joy and wonder. That is American Moonshot by Douglas Brinkley. Check it out. I'm sure you'll be glad. And to be quite honest, man, look how thick this book is. You're on the beach, you're reading this book. How impressive is that? Very.